Senator Reid, you're recognized.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and once again, congratulations, General Mahoney. Well deserved, and I'm very pleased that you're here. You've just pledged that you will give your best military opinion to your superiors as well as the Congress, even if it disagrees with the opinion of your leadership, both uniformed and civilian. And I have no doubt you will. You are a man of your word. How do you emphasize this ethic throughout the joint force so that everyone is ready to stand up?
Sir, I've been at this for 38 years. I don't expect to get orders that are illegal or would even walk the line. From a personal perspective, I took an oath as a second lieutenant. I have taken it again and again, once again for 38 years. And in that oath, it's an oath to the idea of the United States, to the Constitution. And among my fellow officers, among my fellow Marines, we propound that time and time again.
These difficult orders usually come in the gray zone, where you're looking for clarity, and the institution of clarity typically comes from the judge advocate generals. If you're in a situation like this, will you pursue such opinions and follow the legal guidance?
Senator, I will. And once again, it's been my experience. I have never climbed into the cockpit with weapons in the bay or on the wings without understanding completely from the operational law perspective, the ROE perspective, and the law of armed conflict perspective. It's absolutely critical.
Thank you. Do you agree that the Department of Defense should be responsive to Congress, especially with respect to information required by law, that we should get the key facts immediately or as soon as required?
So I believe we should always comply with the law, and as I started the testimony, being timely with our responses to Congress.
Thank you, sir. In your role as head of the JROC, what do you think you can do to improve interoperability between the services?
Specific to the JROC, should I be confirmed, I'll continue the great work that Admiral Grady has done in ensuring that joint requirements are truly requirements, that service-specific requirements can be developed by the services, but in the joint enterprise, the JROC will take, analyze, and bring those decisions forward for recommendation for funding.
Now, excuse me, sir, go ahead. No, go ahead, sir.
As indicated, the JROC, the concept, I think, is completely valid. We have to get rid of some of the bureaucracy, and Admiral Grady has started down that road. We have to make the process less burdened by paperwork and more sensitive to speed and product.
Well, I think that's right, and I commend the chairman for his efforts in this NDAA to give you those tools. Are there any specific tools, though, that you think you need or you will use with respect to generating these requirements?
I think what we need to do is look at the authorities that we have now, look at some of the language enforced. On the House side, we have speed. We also just got done with a report from last year called the 811 report, which come with a bunch of very, very good recommendations. And then an outlier that's a little bit old that I think we should bring into the conversation is the PPBE report that Bob Hale and Ellen Lord chaired that also bring great ideas in. When we look at this and we take best of breed, I think we will get a process once again from determining a gap, looking at the solutions against that gap, getting a coherent and quick acquisition strategy, and meaningfully, and this is important, synchronizing that with the resources. Those three things, often treated as separate pillars, I believe are a system. And if you don't treat them as a system, you're going to break down somewhere.
Well, my time is expiring, but just one point is that we might send a request and follow-up. But the JSIDS has been disestablished, and we're left wondering what process will take its place. And if you could fill us in on that in a timely way, I'd appreciate it.
Senator, I'd be happy to come back to you.
Thank you,
with that.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Reed. Senator Fisher.
During a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on Thursday, Senator Jack Reed, Democrat, Rhode Island, questioned General Christopher Mahoney about how he would approach potentially illegal or questionable military orders if confirmed for his new post. The exchange centered on accountability, constitutional duty, and the balance between military obedience and independent judgment. Reed began by congratulating Mahoney on his long record of service and pressed him on the pledge he had just made to provide his honest military opinion to superiors and to Congress, even when it might not align with the views of uniformed or civilian leadership. The senator framed this ethic as central to the health of civil-military relations, where officers must remain willing to stand up and give candid advice rather than defer automatically. Mahoney responded by grounding his approach in the oath he has sworn repeatedly over 38 years of service. That oath, he stressed, is not to an individual leader but to the Constitution itself. He pointed out that among fellow Marines and officers, this oath is constantly reaffirmed and reinforced as a guiding principle. In his words, he did not expect to receive orders that were illegal, but if any directive raised concerns, the safeguards of the military legal system were designed to provide clarity. He explained that Judge Advocate Generals, JAGs, play a crucial role in offering legal judgments when situations fall into the so-called gray zone. When Reed asked whether Mahoney would actively seek such legal opinions before taking action, Mahoney was clear. He always has and always will. He recalled that he has never stepped into a cockpit with weapons loaded without full understanding of the operational law, the rules of engagement, and the law of armed conflict. For him, legal compliance is not a formality but a prerequisite for action. The discussion then shifted to Congress's oversight responsibilities. Reed reminded Mahoney that the Department of Defense is legally required to provide lawmakers with information in a timely manner. Mahoney agreed without hesitation, saying the Pentagon should comply fully with the law and respond promptly when Congress requests information. Attention also turned to Mahoney's prospective leadership of the Joint Requirements Oversight Council, JROC, a body responsible for evaluating and prioritizing military capability needs across the services. Reed asked how Mahoney would strengthen interoperability between the branches of the armed forces. Mahoney credited Admiral Christopher Grady, his predecessor, for reforms already underway, and committed to continuing that work. He argued that while individual services can pursue service-specific requirements, JROC must ensure that joint requirements truly serve the overall defense enterprise. A major theme of Mahoney's answers was the need to reduce bureaucracy in the requirements process. He criticized the system for being too slow, too paper-heavy, and not agile enough to meet emerging threats. Instead, he advocated for speed, efficiency, and results. To guide reform, Mahoney pointed to existing reports with practical recommendations, including the 811 report and the older PPBEE report authored by Bob Hale and Ellen Lord. These, he said, provide a strong foundation for streamlining how the military identifies gaps, develops solutions, and crafts acquisition strategies. He argued that capability assessment, acquisition planning, and resource allocation cannot be treated as isolated processes. Instead, they must function as one unified system. When separated, he warned, the process breaks down and fails to deliver the capabilities warfighters need in the field. Reed closed his questioning by raising a concern about the disestablishment of the Joint Integration Development System, JIDS, which had previously handled aspects of the requirements process. With JIDS gone, he said, Congress is left unclear about what process will replace it. He asked Mahoney to provide follow-up details and keep Congress informed. Mahoney assured him that he would return with updates and maintain open communication. The exchange underscored both the personal commitment of General Mahoney to constitutional principles and the institutional challenges the Pentagon faces in balancing speed with accountability. Reed's questions highlighted Congress's role in ensuring that the military remains transparent, responsive, and legally grounded, while Mahoney's answers reflected both his decades of operational experience and his awareness of the urgent need for reform in how the military prepares for future conflicts.